All right, guys, welcome to our first live trading session. So this session pretty much is just going to be me live trading with Fairdesk. Of course, if you guys are interested in getting that $600 bonus, make sure to check out the link in the bio. So let's just get set up here. Can you guys tell me if you can hear me clear? For anyone in the chat? So let's have a look on Bitcoin. Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right, so let's see what we got. We're just gonna basically go through this live session together. Just gonna be looking at the different sort of crypto pairs. If you guys want, any sort of analysis, just post in the comments section what you guys are looking for, like whatever analysis you guys are kind of want me to look at, and then we can kind of go from there. Obviously, make it reasonable. I'm not gonna look at a random coin that that is completely random. Band. I'm looking for band. Okay. Let's have a look at band. Go over here, I guess. And the thing is, I don't even know if it's on TradingView yet, because I was pretty sure it's very new. And tether. Wow. Okay, yeah. So that's very interesting. So it looks like it's been there for quite a while now. Looking at this overall, let's have a look on the 4 hours. So we did obviously break above this very long consolidation from all the way around here to May of 2022. And it's been an extremely massive move. It does look like it is topping out a little bit, but let's go on the daily time frame and let's have a look at this. So right now, right from the daily time frame, we can see from the horizontal ray, if we were to draw one, this is the resistance level you want to kind of pay attention to. The reason, of course, is because you're seeing multiple tests on that support level, and then we got the confirmation to the downside. So that's what we're kind of looking for right now for band. We do have a clean break above. We are obviously completely overbought on the daily time frame, but it is a little bit dangerous to actually take that shorting opportunity right now, because if this thing does continue and we do have that massive wick, it can possibly go up to around here, around the $4 mark, right? You have to be very, very careful. I mean, it's pretty much almost tripled today in price. That's actually crazy on the 4 hours. But this does look like, it's algal pumping, because there's no sort of wick here. It just goes straight up. Very, very interesting on the 4 hour chart. So let's go ahead and analyze that. So that's the best case scenario, obviously, if you are looking for that shorting position. But we have to wait, I would say, maybe 8 more hours before we finally get that confirmation to the downside. It doesn't look like we have that confirmation just yet for band. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I would wait. I would definitely wait. This looks like Doge to me. We can have a look at Doge as well. I did want to talk about that too, because a lot of people are wondering about Doge right now. You can see that Doge did break that support level today, actually, on the 4 hours. So I was actually looking for a shorting opportunity for that retest around 0.123. Doesn't look like we actually saw that 0.123 retest just yet, though. So I'm going to wait for that position to actually enter that. Yeah, we can definitely see that whale pump once more. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Let's have a look on Doge. Bitcoin today, too. Bitcoin had quite a bit of move. Even XRP. There's a lot of pairs that are just consolidating, so it doesn't really make sense right now to be entering any sort of position. I was actually looking on for Cardano. I actually wanted to take a long position right around here, but I'm glad I didn't, because we were testing that support level and then we saw that bearish engulfing, but it does look like a fake out. These ranges are extremely choppy. Even Ethereum's range is extremely choppy right now. Like we're right below these exponential moving averages. So it has to be very, very careful. We have to wait a bit. Let's see. What else can we look at? Bitcoin does look like it's gonna make that head and shoulder pattern. I definitely think we can look for a right shoulder opportunity right over here. I do want to take that long because we are above the exponential moving average. We tested that support 3 times. Technically, that's a confirmation. Let's have a look at the hourly time frames. You know what? That's actually yeah. I'm gonna be looking for a long position on that for Bitcoin. That actually looks pretty good. Just do 25x market. And there we go. We are in a position for Bitcoin. I usually use 4 hours for I usually use 4 hours when I'm trading. I like the 4 hour chart because of the fact that it's a lot easier, you know, in terms for me at least. Every trader has a different preference. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4 hours. Some people like the 1 hour, some people like the 15-minute. What I usually do is, for example, if I'm trading, I look at the 4 hour for the analysis itself, but if I'm looking for an entry, I'll be using the 1 hour time frame. So like right now on Bitcoin, you guys just saw I entered a position. Please zoom in the chart. Yeah, sir. Here, I'll zoom it for you. There you go. Is that better? So when I'm looking for an entry, I usually use the 1 hour, because it does show you the perfect analysis where you can possibly see the wicks and where the best entry point is. Technically speaking, we just broke above this exponential moving average. This could obviously be a fake out situation and a drop because it is the hourly time frame. If we look on the 4 hours though, we did have a decent move. It's not much, but we are trading right above those exponential moving averages. So what I usually look for is, you guys know from my videos, is I'm looking for a 3 test confirmation, right? So right now we have 1, 2, 3 test confirmation on Bitcoin. And that's the reason why I actually took that long opportunity. You see I'm up $1.75. Yeah, so basically it's not much, but of course, like Bitcoin's only moved $1 up. So that's what I'm looking for right now on Bitcoin. I would like, a lot of people are actually shorting at these levels. Like I'm not, again, I'm not biased towards a shorting opportunity. Of course, I would much rather be in a short because of the fact that the market is in a downtrend. But we have to be careful about entering shorting positions on Bitcoin overall when we're in these choppy ranges. You can see pretty much when we had that news event over here on Friday last week, we saw, or was it not, sorry, last week, on yesterday, we actually saw a nice little move set. We actually hit that resistance at 20.7. And it's obviously a lot better to enter that resistance point for that shorting, right? Because then you're entering at the possible local top and then that continuation higher. But then you can see that we pretty much tested that support level multiple times. So to me, when I'm trading news events, which I rarely do, but when you are trading news events, you're pretty much in that trade for about 3 to 5 minutes max, because it can go extremely fast, right? So for example, I know a lot of traders entered that long position hoping that the news was going to be positive, and although it was positive for a bit, then it turned negative extremely fast, and that's why you saw that massive move to the downside. That's why you have to be very, very careful of when you're entering these sort of positions, mostly on news events. I usually wait 1 or 2 days, and pretty much I waited 24 hours, and you can see that we do have a much better analysis now, where we're still testing right below those exponential moving averages, but it is looking a little bit better for a long opportunity on the 4 hours. Yeah, for sure. So the yellow and the white line is the exponential moving averages. So these are the indicators that I use. Basically they tell me what, like, you know, whether or not the trend for short term is going to be up or the trend for short term is going to be down. That's pretty much how I use them. So as you guys can see, when we actually saw that move to the upside, we continued pushing higher when we were retesting this little yellow line. So I use that as like a support. And when you're trading below it, you can use it as a resistance point, right? And I'll show you guys a good example of that over on, I'll actually go on Luna Classic for you guys, just to kind of give you a perfect idea of how it plays out. So here on the 4 hours for Luna Classic, you can see, looking at these two lines, you see how they're trading below that the whole time. So it acted as a resistance. So there was no reason to be looking for a long entry because we couldn't break above these exponential moving averages. We pretty much just continued pushing lower and lower. And then once we saw the lines kind of get neutral, that's where this was a no trade zone. Ideally, what you want to see when you're in a move upwards is a bounce on support. So if I were to go over here and just delete this little thing, you can see that we had that move upwards. So we were using this as support all the way down here. You can see we were above the yellow line and white line, and then we saw the move set and pretty much continued pushing higher all the way up until we finally saw that break formation. We can see that also on Quant, right? Quant had the same sort of analysis where we saw the same move. We were above those exponential moving averages, pushing higher and higher. And then once we saw that break formation, then things started getting a little bit different. Quant is pretty much in the same boat too, though. Right now, we are still hovering right above that 154 level, so we have to be careful. Bitcoin looking like it's breaking out. We're up almost 2% on it. It's going to let the position run. I can definitely scalp these positions, but I for the live session, I'll just kind of show you guys how it happens. So for now, I'm just going to let it run. I mean, 25x for me is fair. I mean, if I'm scalping, I'll use maybe 40x. But obviously, like, I'm usually on top of it. So if I start to see a reversal pattern, I'll immediately exit the position. But right now, like, it's extremely choppy for Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if we actually hit this level at 344. I might look to take some profits right there, because that's probably the first time we'll actually hit that exponential moving average. So the reason why I'm actually taking this trade right now is because the fact that we broke above this yellow line, which is, again, the 9 exponential. So I'm looking for a possible scalp to around that 344 and exiting the position and then moving on to something else. Of course, if it does break above, like if you guys saw in the hourly, that's the reason I took that position. It's looking really good for Bitcoin overall in the hourly, because right over here you can see we bounced off that support, continued, we failed, second time continued, and now we hover right around this level, and now the exponential moving averages are using it as support as well. Usually when this happens, you tend to have a larger move set to the upside, but I'm not trying to play the hourly. Like I said, I'm trying to play the 4-hour candlestick. So this might be a very slow move, but it will be a decent move if we do continue pushing further. So yeah, I'll let the position just hover over here and just kind of go across the pairs with you guys. And like I said, if you guys have any sort of pairs you guys want me to go over, I can definitely do that for you guys. So Cardano. Cardano's looking, this is not a trade zone for me on Cardano because of how choppy it is, but I did mention in today's video that Cardano, we do have this very nice move set, very nice bar formation forming here, and a continuation pattern. And ideally what I wanted to see was this bar formation continuing to the downside. A bar formation is kind of like the Simpsons bar. I don't know if you guys ever saw Simpsons, but his hairstyle, we call these bar formations. They're basically start as a massive move to the upside. So like you don't see the candlesticks look very odd. They don't have any sort of pullbacks. They don't have any sort of wicks to the downside. They just go straight up. And then we see that bar formation like his hair. And then usually bar formations end to the downside. I can definitely give you guys an example of that as well for Bitcoin. Yeah, I can show you that in a second. So like this would be a bar formation right over here on Bitcoin. You can see I'll show you guys 2 examples. I'll show you guys a really good example over here at 25,000 first. So this was a perfect bar formation. You can kind of see it right away, but so we had this massive move to the upside. I remember this day, this was on the Fed news, and it was extremely bearish, but for some reason Bitcoin continued pushing higher. And then once we saw that break above, then we started using this as a bar formation. So a lot of these, the highest point it touched was 25.2, which was actually, that's exactly where I entered because I had a feeling that was going to be the daily resistance. Bar formations are extremely hard to trade, I'll say, because you never really know where the bar's going to end. And I'll show you guys an example in that second. But you can see pretty much as soon as we saw this break above, we had this massive move. And in one candlestick, we pretty much completed that move right back to the downside, right? That's exactly what you want to be very careful about. So we can go back over here and the same sort of formation. You can see that we had multiple green candlesticks. We had this little bar formation ladder up. As soon as we hit that resistance, straight move to the downside. So these happen quite a bit on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And then there's obviously the inverse BART, which I've mentioned in my videos, is definitely happening. We can also look at it like this. We have this huge move to the downside. An inverse BART would look something like this. And then that continuation, right? So that we have to be careful about that as well. Those are the kind of the 2 situations for the BART formation. So yeah, so let's have a look. So it looks like we're seeing some sort of resistance, which is not surprising. I mean, for Bitcoin, we could definitely see another move. We have to be very careful here because we are trading right on that resistance level. So if this was a fake out, this could definitely continue breaking down. Just have to be very, very careful for Bitcoin. Any pair with high volatility and a few common chart patterns to look for. So we can talk about, you know, high volatility. I guess you can look at Matic today. Like that was a crazy move today. I know a lot of traders are shorting this for some reason, which makes absolutely no sense to me for Matic, because you guys can see on the 4-hour, look at that beautiful move set all the way from 95 and continuing. This would actually it's starting to look like a short opportunity, but I want to wait till we at least test the higher wicks around here before actually taking that short opportunity, because on Matic you can see we did have a resistance point. We actually saw multiple tests at that level. On the 4 hours, you can see we tested level 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, and then the move to the downside. So we just saw a breakout formation, and I never suggest, a lot of traders kind of get like very greedy when it comes down to this kind of aspect. So you can see right over here, we actually saw that move set, and a lot of traders are like, okay, yeah, this is going to be an easy bearish move. I'm going to short. Well, they could have entered the shorting position, you know, here, I'll go ahead and delete this line so you guys don't get confused, but they could have entered a shorting position here as soon as we hit this resistance level, because they were like, oh, well, it hit that resistance level. That's a perfect opportunity to enter a short. Well, if you guys notice, we started using that support as, that resistance as support, right? Once you saw that, that was an invalidation, and you can see we also bounced right above the exponential moving average. That was 2 indicators of the fact that this will continue pushing higher and the bulls are not done yet. And you can see that's exactly what happened right now, right? This is a short squeeze. This is what a short squeeze would look like. A lot of traders probably just got wrecked right around here. And it's probably going to continue pushing further, possibly all the way up to 1.05. And then we can start looking for a retracement, because this level does act as a resistance level right over here. You can see that we actually have a move right there. So it has a little bit of room to go. We could, I personally don't like shorting into a breakout, mostly like this just continue pushing higher. Because 9 out of 10 times this will be a BART, so you'll see something like this, and then a continuation, and then the move downside, right? So you don't want to be shorting into something like this until you get that confirmation. I would wait until you get that. But that's like, I guess, high volatility pairs for you. Matic obviously is an exception, but like Luna Classic, anything like that, they're extremely high volatile, so you have to be very, very careful. I feel like Bitcoin's very slow. You know, Bitcoin, the position is going to be very slow. I mean, we can change things up. We can we can see how it goes. But yeah, it's more like a chill session. Like I said, we're just all going to trade and learn together. So if you guys have any sort of questions or pairs or anything you want me to look at, again, I'm open to it. And of course, if you guys want to copy the same sort of trades, you can look into Fairdesk. There is a link in the bio. It's free $600 bonus if you do join. But chart patterns we can learn. Okay, so chart patterns in this video. Let's see. I can teach you. I mean, I can again. It's gonna take a lot more than one video to kind of teach chart patterns, but I can kind of show you guys how head and shoulder patterns work. And so you guys have a better understanding of those. We can use some Forex examples, but I'll have to go hunt some, because right now we're not seeing them across the pairs. Usually a tip for head, so let me explain what a head and shoulder pattern is. Let me just go up here where this blank line is. Okay, so what a head and shoulder pattern is for chart patterns is you'll see a move set like this, and then a move down, and then you'll see this, and then a move down, and then you'll see this, and then it'll be a continuation to the downside. These are called head and shoulder patterns. So what these are basically is you'll have your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. So think of like the human body. So you have your shoulder, your head, your right shoulder. So these are bearish patterns when you see these. So these are basically bearish continuation patterns. They happen after a massive move to the upside. So this is something to look out for. So what you would ideally do, and I can show you guys an example on Bitcoin right now, is when you see a head and shoulder pattern forming, they can look like all sort of things. Like I said, they don't have to be perfect like that. I have seen them perfect like that, but there are obviously, you know, different things that you can see. But right now we do have a left shoulder, kind of a head. Usually the head is a little bit higher, but like I said, they can look a little bit different to everyone. And then right now would technically would be the right shoulder. So that's the reason why I entered the long position, because I'm looking for the right shoulder move, possibly hitting this 20,800, and then the move set to the downside. And you can see how it plays out perfectly. But I would recommend you guys, if you guys are looking for head and shoulder patterns, you will see them across all time frames. I highly suggest you don't take those trades unless it's a 4-hour or a daily time frame. The reason for that is because they have more weight compared to the lower time frames. Like you can see on the 1-minute chart or the 15-minute chart, you'll start seeing them everywhere. This wouldn't be classified as a double top necessarily, because double top patterns, usually what you'll see is you'll see a top, you'll see another top, and then you'll see a move to the downside, like a straight, pretty much waterfall effect. Here, I'll show you guys what a double top would look like on Bitcoin. So if we go to Bitcoin right over here, give you guys a good example. Kind of like this. This would be classified as a double top. You can see we had one move set, the continuation, and then the other move set. So this is more, I guess, okay, I'll explain like this. So we'll ignore this one because that was a bar formation. We'll just look at this specifically. This is a double top formation. You can see we have two tops right here, two highs. The pattern tried to break above, failed, and then we saw this bearish engulfing candle. This was a confirmation to actually look for that shorting opportunity. You can see we tried to break above a resistance, and then we saw the move to the downside. That's a double top. Right now, we're not seeing the same thing, right? We have these two move sets, but we have that bearish engulfing, but it's a lot more choppier than that, right? So that's more of a double top right here. It's a clean double top formation to the downside. I'm not saying this might not be a bearish move to the downside. I'm just saying that that's not real. It's not clear enough, right? Because usually on double tops, you'll most likely see that wick. So that wick right there is what I'm talking about. You'll see a move to the upside, grab that liquidity, and then that confirmation to the downside. This was a news event, so that doesn't necessarily count. It's kind of just noise in the market, so we have to be careful about that. But yeah, so obviously this could be, it could be a bearish move set for sure, but we have to just be kind of basic on that. So right now we are a little bit down, not bad. You know, we entered a pretty decent level too. But like I said, when you're trading these exponential moving averages, this is exactly what I meant, right? When you enter these positions on like a potential breakout, it can obviously go the other way. As long as it doesn't break below this level around the 20.154, you're pretty much in a good spot. You can just look at this like noise. Even just looking at the chart right now, you can see we had this bullish candle, just noise throughout the whole time. These ranges are, I will say, very, very hard to trade because it's very boring. You're basically looking at like a $40 move every few hours, but when you have that breakout, it's a massive breakout. Yeah, double top below MA line. Yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone deciphers double tops in a different way. I mean, for how I've traded, that's how I see clean double tops. This wouldn't be a double top formation. This just kind of just looks like more of a choppy range. It can also be seen as, you know, a consolidation before another leg up. You can also see it like that as well. Yeah, okay, I can definitely change that for you. Well, ETH is going to be the same thing, right? ETH follows Bitcoin. It's kind of the same thing. We can look at, I actually don't have a chart of Solana. We can actually add that. I've never actually bothered with Solana. Oops, I'm on the wrong thing. Oops. Yeah, I've never really bothered with Solana because I don't really trade it. So let's go with KuCoin, Tether. It's the easiest one to do. We can just start drawing a chart out right now with you guys live. So number one, right away, we have some support right at this level. You can see that bounce perfectly. So then we want to draw our resistance level. So looking at the chart here, we can see quite a few resistance levels, but we'll use that high over there. Yeah, okay. Okay, anyways, so yeah, as you guys can see, this is Solana's chart. Solana overall does look bearish. I'm not going to say it looks bullish by any means. And you guys got to understand, Solana's come from a long way of like $2, right? We don't have that information on, obviously, the KuCoin chart. But I think it still has quite a bit of moves to go. I don't think we're at that bottom yet for Solana by any means. You can see that the lows we had over here on the daily was around 26 before we actually saw that move set going all the way up to 48. But right now, it just looks like we are in this consolidation for so long. It's kind of the same boring chart you're going to see, you know, because everything pretty much is following Bitcoin. The charts all look exactly alike. You can see what I'm saying. They literally all look exactly alike. It's because everything's consolidating before the larger move set. So just got to be very, very careful about, you know, obviously I don't mind leaving positions open, but I don't like leaving long positions open because, you know, the chances of you actually seeing that move to the downside is a lot higher lately because of the fact that we are in a bear market. So, you know, you don't want to be necessarily holding positions that are, you can see from Bitcoin pretty much, you know, the thing about Bitcoin is what's interesting is everyone says, okay, yeah, the bottom's in, right? The bottom's in. Well, reality is like, if you look at it from here, I'll show you guys an example. If you guys look at Bitcoin from here, let's just give this example right over here. So we were in this range for quite a while, right? So from January till May, we were just bouncing in between these ranges to 44,000 all the way down to 33. And I look at it the same exact way as we're seeing the same range right now, right? Every time we hit 44, everyone was like bull run. Every time we hit 33, everyone was like bear market. So these are the sort of ranges you have to be careful about, mostly trading in between these. I mean, I will say this was a lot easier to trade because of the fact that the move was a lot more clear. You can see every time we hit that resistance, it was a clean retracement. And every time we hit that support, it was a clean buy. This move right now we're seeing is a little bit more choppier. But we are seeing the same waterfall effect. So you can see every time we have that consolidation, we have a move down, consolidation, move down, consolidation, and then move down, right? So whether or not this range that we are currently trading in, the 20,000, is another move to the downside, you can see that this is my worst case scenario on Bitcoin, is 17,600. I literally don't even have support lines going down there because that would just be extremely bad. If we broke that 17,600, that's the last line of defense these bulls have. This was the move to the downside. You can see that wick opportunity, and then we started trading. And I know a lot of traders, when we hit that level of, you know, 17,600, everyone started piling into the shorts, and that's what the short squeeze was, actually breaking above. So when we hit, and then the same thing, right? We hit 17.6, everyone's like, okay, Bitcoin is going to zero, everything's done, you know, and then we hit 25, and I remember, like, I was literally arguing with people on Twitter because they were like, the bull runs back, the bull runs back. And, you know, they were telling their followers, like, guys, like, you know, everything's going to be good. Like, we're in a bull market. And they got absolutely wrecked. You know, as soon as we dropped this support line right here, look at this move, guys. And this was on the 4-hour time frame. This was an absolutely wrecked waterfall to the downside. So you have to be very careful. And that's what I meant. I would rather hold the short positions because the shorting opportunities are a lot bigger than the long opportunities. It's usually a slow ladder case up and an elevator down, right? So that's why even this position I'm in right now, I won't leave it open overnight. Whether or not my take profit is hit, that's great, but I don't like leaving positions overnight. And you'll see with Bitcoin, it's very manipulated, right? There will be a lot of stop hunting. So you tend to kind of just pay attention and kind of watch and see whether or not we can actually continue on Bitcoin, right? So that's what I would recommend. Mostly if you're a beginner, I wouldn't even suggest live trading. I would suggest maybe, you know, opening up a demo account with Fairdesk and then just kind of seeing how it goes, right? So opening a demo account, testing some trades, and leverage trading can be extremely risky. So you have to be very, very careful about that. That's my only advice to you guys. And of course, copy trading as well. You know, if you find some guy on Twitter that, like, you know, is like giving his chart analysis on like a picture, I've seen tons of those. And they're like, okay, this is the extreme level Bitcoin's going to drop to. And as soon as it drops, they're like, I told you, we're going to 12,000. And then we get wicked right back up. And then they liquidate all of their followers, right? So I don't even suggest following Twitter followers. Because half those guys have no idea what they're doing. And you can just look from their calls. If you go from their calls that they mention, like 90% of them are wrong, but the 10% they get right, they're like, yeah, we're the best, you know? So that's why I just don't recommend it. Live trading kind of puts them in a different situation. You can't really lie about live trading, you know? If I'm a beginner, can I play with points instead of... Yeah, you can definitely do that. They have a simulation on, see right there, with Fairdesk. You can see simulated trading with 0 risks. So you can literally open an account with Fairdesk and then just kind of run through simulated trading and just kind of play around with it. This would obviously be like your stop loss situation. You're kind of figuring out the like your analysis, and I would highly suggest it. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, you know, my only advice to you, and the advice I wish I took, was if you're going to be running a simulation account, be realistic. So don't don't open an account and then have like $1 million in it. You know, unless you have that, that's great. But be realistic for what you're willing to lose is my best advice to you guys. So let's say you have $1,000 and you want to start live trading, then open $1,000 live simulation account and act like it's real money. My best case, obviously, for you guys would be not to get too attached to it. And I've seen this happen a lot where it's dangerous because then the people will basically take it serious for 3 months and then they end up spending a little bit too much time on the demo account and then they go live and the first trade they lose and then they lose everything. So maybe do it for 3 months. Maybe like that's my best spot. Like sweet spot is 3 months. Once you get that confirmation, then you guys continue, looking for actual trades. And this will teach you a lot about yourself, right? Trading is a lot about psychological as well. So if you guys want, you kind of play around with it, get a feel for it, and you'll know your weaknesses, right? Whether you're an over trader, whether you're someone that likes to gamble, like higher leverage. And I don't, leverage isn't bad. Obviously, 100x leverage, I don't know what you're doing. And we can have some fun sessions if you guys want with 100x leverage, but it'll be a very short session. There's not going to be much going on there. It'll be like either liquidation or we make a lot of money. And I'm sure people would love to watch that. But if you guys, want to take it more serious, maybe use 5x leverage is what I recommend for beginners. So this way you're not glued to the chart. It's going to take like a, $2,000-$3,000 move to wipe you out. So it's a little bit better than that. That's what I would recommend for you guys. Obviously, best case. But yeah, Bitcoin's really not much doing anything. It's pretty boring, to be honest. I don't see us actually breaking this level just yet. Maybe on the hourly time frames, but I would just wait until the hourly closes. We got another 30 minutes before the hourly closes, and I'm possibly looking for a higher move set. Let's see. I don't mind analyzing stocks, by the way. It's just that I like analyzing stuff that's open. Stocks are pretty much 9 to 5. That's why I don't like it, because it freezes and then it kind of goes from there. Yeah, I can show you guys my biggest trades. I'll show you guys my biggest L recently, actually, and I'll show you guys exactly what happened too. So I entered a shorting position on Bitcoin at 25.2. I actually ended up closing that position within 4 hours. You guys can see that was pretty much the high. This was the candlestick I actually closed that position on. Bitcoin dropped $1,300. I closed that position, and then I pretty much let it run. I entered a long position, believe it or not, right here. I entered a long position at this level because of the fact that I was like, okay, this support level has held multiple times. We were seeing very big lack of volume. And then we saw within, guys, I kid you not, I'm not even kidding you guys. I took a long position, and then I ended up closing it and going to bed. So I took a small loss. And keep in mind, I was actually looking for a short. I wanted to short because I knew the move was going to happen. So I went to bed. I woke up, and this was the 4-hour candlestick. And I was just so upset. And at that point, I started hunting trades, right? I did end up making quite a bit all the way down. I entered pretty much every pullback. I looked for shorting opportunities. And then my biggest L would have been right over here. This was my biggest L because I was trading the Fed news at this point on the hourly, and the news went extremely well. I was in a long position and immediately dumped. And then I was like, okay, well, regardless, 20.7 will hold, right? Because that will be, again, I was lack of sleep, wasn't paying attention, and then I ended up actually losing a ton right here. You can see that once we saw that break formation, this was the opportunity to get out, and that was that move to the downside. Looking at it now, it's a clean move, right? It's a clean move to the downside, but before, obviously, it's lack of sleep and eating and blah, 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 blah. So that was my, I guess, trading biggest losses, biggest thing. I guess my biggest loss ever was in December of 2018. That was quite a few Bitcoin I lost. It was a manipulation move. I can try to show you guys. Let's see, December 2018. 18. Yeah, right there. So this was it. Right there. So that was me trading Bitcoin. And guys, keep in mind, back then this was a lot, right? So if you guys see, like right now, Bitcoin wasn't really moving much, but like a $300 move was massive. So that was me right there. I entered the long position, and I was like, "This is it. This is the bottom." And I remember it was $100 million market sell order, and that was a candlestick right there, and it literally dumped Bitcoin, and that was the bottom, and then that was the rally, and that was the end for me. I lost a ton. I remember it was pretty much nearing Christmas. I was up like 4 Bitcoins, and I'm losing a ton. And then yeah, I took a break pretty much from there all the way. I didn't look at Bitcoin till around COVID time. I remember this drop as well on Bitcoin. This was a capitulation candle. What I talk about all the time. This is the move of the bear market. So 8,000 to 4,000 in 4 hours, 50% drop. Those are capitulation candles. You wait, get that liquidation wick, and then that was the start of that bull run. I didn't come back until I think right around here. This was, and believe it or not, I actually took a short. I took a short on the bull market when we hit right here at 17,000. I was like, this is a good resistance level. I'm taking that short opportunity. And you can see that, I pretty much got wrecked right around here, continued, and then that was my liquidation right here. I think that was a lot liquidation for a lot of people, because as soon as we broke up 20,000, everyone, and I kid you guys not, like every article was, Bitcoin's back, we're booming, and that was the bull run. That was the start of that bull run. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my depressing stories on Bitcoin. But I mean, like I said, live and learn, right? You learn quite a bit when you're trading, when you live trade. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn about the mistakes you make, and then you kind of continue with those. But yeah, we're still in the boring little position. Not much going on. I mean, I can make the stream interesting, but it's up to you guys. I don't mind. If you guys want to do some fun, we can definitely do that. But you guys tell me. How should you trade? Well, that depends on you, right? If you, I mean, as a beginner, I learned from 4 hours. So if you want to learn from 4 hours, you can. That's my best recommendation because that's the least amount of noise that happens. I wouldn't suggest maybe looking at Bitcoin or crypto in general. Maybe just pulling out like a forex chart because they tend to be a little bit easier to read and a lot less volatile, and then kind of play around with it because technical analysis can be used for any market, right? And then because Bitcoin's very, very hard to kind of learn. That's what I'll say. Oh, that's what you meant. Well, if you have 1K USD, ideally what you want to do is you want to use a maximum of 2% of your account. So 2% for you would be $20 trades. I know it doesn't sound like much, but that's like the best case, obviously. Mostly if you're a beginner. Like that's my best advice to you. Is pretty much only use $20 a trade. Because then if you lose $20, you're just like whatever, or $40, I guess. Well, that's 4%. But it really just comes down to how much you're willing to lose, right? You don't want to blow your account completely. As you guys can see, like for me, it's a little bit different. I'm in, pretty much what I have I had a $680 account. This is just like I said, just play money. It's just a random money I had in an account, so it's it's not like ideally right now I'm taking 100% of the position, so I'm risking the whole account. But that's pretty much how I trade, right? I'm a scalper, so I watch the charts very closely, so I'll exit and enter a position extremely fast. But yeah, so this is pretty much. Yeah, pretty much $10, $10-$20 max, and then kind of go from there. If you guys feel a little bit more riskier, then you can do maybe like $50, $50 to $60 max. But that's pretty much it, right? After that, you're just gambling. Like, what's the point? And that's pretty much how you get liquidated. So. We can look at band again if you want. I mean, there's literally no point of looking at band because it's not coming down, and I can't even. I would love to short band if I could, but it's not on. It's not on Fair Desk yet. And you can see on the 4 hour, like we're starting to see a local top, right? But this is literally gambling. If you're gonna be entering a short position, I would wait till the 4-hour close and then enter a short position. This could definitely be a clean short to the downside because we are now. It looks like the bulls are getting exhausted here. This might actually be a short position, and like we could see just a straight candlestick. I've definitely seen that before quite a lot too. But again, risky, risky, risky. Not worth it. Definitely not worth it. I don't trade the 5-minute chart. It's just noise. It literally is just noise. Yeah, 5-minute chart looks great until it doesn't, right? Because that's the thing. It's a 5-minute chart, so you have to be careful about those. It looks like a great shorting opportunity, and then you'll see another wick to the upside. You'll be like, oh, wait, well, there it goes. There, it just got wrecked. So I pretty much maximum lowest time frame is 30 minutes. I'll do lowest time frames. If I'm scalping like high tier, 30-minute time frame. And the 30-minute doesn't look like it's ready for a short at all because we're still consolidating. This looks like Doge to me, right? When we're consolidating, we had the next leg up and then that continuation to the downside. I'll show you guys. Right here, we consolidated. You remember this, right? We consolidated, had that move downside, then we had that bullish momentum. That was ideal. Damn, I really wish I shorted Doge, man. I was trying to set up the stream quality, and then I felt bad because I didn't want to enter the position and then start the stream. Because I was like, oh, then there's no point. But now I'm looking at it like, man, I should have entered that position. Because this was a clean short. A very, very clean short. It still is a clean short, but I don't want to enter midway of the short now. It's pretty much done. Yeah. Shorting Doge is always interesting, right? One tweet from Elon and you're pretty much liquidated. So that's why you want to be very, very careful. I mean, guys, like, yeah, like there really isn't much going on. We're like $15 loss. I can make this fun. If you guys want, I can make this fun. But then again, like I'm trying to like teach you guys. So it's not really much teaching. It'll just be like entertainment at that point. You know what I mean? I do trail profits quite a bit. But like I'll be honest with you, like I just kind of end up closing the position. So like my mindset always was, this is my mindset. Of course, you take it as you will. If I was, for example, about to go to bed, about to go out with my friends, and I see $600 in front of me, $800 in front of me, I'll ask myself like, can I sleep with that profit? Am I gonna have a good night's sleep? Yeah, okay, I'm taking that profit, right? You can set trailing stops, but then I promise you, if you fall asleep on a trailing stop, and let's say it hits your stop and then drops another $10,000, you're going to be extremely pissed because you're going to be like, wow, I could have made that money. And then that's where the gambler mindset comes in immediately. So that's why I just take what's there and then I go to bed. And the next day, if it's, the market, you'll always have another trade. The idea is just to stay alive. That's pretty much it. I don't know why. I don't know play short. I only play real stock only. Yeah, you can. Like I said, stocks is pretty much the same thing, right? You can. It's kind of the same market. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is looking ready, guys. Bitcoin looks ready for that breakout. We're right back to where we were, pretty much. We saw that nice little support opportunity, and then that continuation. Yeah, I can make this interesting. That's all. If you guys want, we can start looking for those high leverage trades for sure. Like definitely on Matic. Holy, that looks like a perfect short because we hit that resistance pretty well now, and we are extremely overbought now. So we can definitely start. It's up to you guys. I mean, I don't mind closing for a $10 loss and then kind of running it through, but this pretty much depends on you guys. Do you guys want to see that live, or do you guys prefer just like kind of like what we're doing right now? Just let me know in the chat what you guys prefer. Should we just send it, or should we just kind of chill? Okay, you want to see action? Okay, so this is what I'll do. I will quick close this, take that loss. We will hover over my favorite Mr. Matic, which has no reason to be this high right now. Where are you, friend? Matic. Here you are. And how are you doing? Okay, not bad. Okay, so we have a clean break above the exponential moving average. What do we got in the hourly? We're looking like a bearish engulfing. Yeah, I saw that. They had quite a bit of news today, actually. So it looks like some short squeezes are happening right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over on the 30-minute. Ooh, that's clean. Okay, that's very clean. Okay, let's see. We can look for a short. That's like the highest leverage, huh? All right, we're in. Our liquidation is 1.03. So right at the top of that wick. Extremely risky position. Extremely risky. But of course, like this is a scalp opportunity for us, and you guys want to see some action, so why not? So we're 20x leverage on Matic. We're at $1.03. So we're pretty much just gonna watch the 30-minute chart and see. I mean, this trade would become invalidated, of course, if we can't break below this support level or use this resistance as support. Yeah, we can look at the 5-minute. Why not? I just hate the 5 minutes, but we can do the 5 minutes for you. So 5-minute looks extremely clean. Again, it's a 5 minutes, not much there, but we saw this beautiful move, breaking below resistance now, got that liquidity grab. My liquidation, let me draw it out for you guys. So if you guys start seeing the line hit, you're gonna be like, oh, there we go. There. That's our liquidation. That little white line is our little liquidation party. So we are up $5, $6 on Matic right now. We are pretty much shorting a very, again, this is scalping, right? So this is what scalping looks like. Quick in and out trade. You guys have seen this many times before. We're pretty much up the profit that we lost on Bitcoin. So we're just gonna let it run, see what happens. Like I said, we're on the 5-minute. Ideally, I think I'm gonna get out right at this. That's like the thing is, I'm okay. You know what? I'm not gonna do the 5-minute. I'm gonna look at the 15. Yeah, ideally that's where I'm gonna get out, right on that exponential moving average bounce, because that's pretty much where this possible move can go, and then we would be looking for that exit out. That's what we're trading right now. We're gonna see whether or not we can actually bounce, and I'll show you guys that once we actually, if assuming we hit this level, you can kind of see how perfectly it plays out. Obviously, best case scenario, we just see a straight liquidation to the downside. That would be ideal, because Matic is extremely overbought across all the time frames now. You can look at the 4-hour, we can look on the daily, almost the daily. We can look at the hourly on the 30-minute. We're pretty much overbought everywhere on Matic right now. So we're just gonna let it run and see how it plays out. Yes, long is when you're buying and short is when you are selling. So, yeah, this is it's a little bit more exciting now, because Bitcoin was very slow. And of course, like I don't recommend doing this either. Like this is just, we're just doing it for our first stream. We're having some fun. I don't I don't recommend you guys doing the same stuff that I'm doing, obviously, because you're not gonna learn like that. So you guys can see we are up $15 right now on this trade. We're just gonna let it run. It is extremely volatile, so I can't even say like, yeah, like we're up, right? Because it can change in a matter of seconds. The hourly is gonna close in 15 minutes, so if we are gonna see a move set on Matic, it should be pretty soon right now, because I do believe the next 4-hour candle, I don't think we'll hit that wick again in terms of resistance. I think that was a liquidity grab. I think what we might see is a bearish engulfing candle breaking below, because this is extremely overbought now. This is kind of looking like Doge before Doge had us move to the downside. I'm going to show you guys right now. So we had that move, and then you guys see that same little resistance level, and then that bearish engulfing, and that was the start. So that's pretty much what we're seeing on Matic right now as well. I don't even know where my chart went for Matic. There it is. So yeah, this is we're up $3, quite a bit. I'm just gonna let the profit rise. I'm just gonna chill now. We're just gonna chill in the chat now. Gonna enjoy our lives. Wow, my Dogecoin video blew up. That's very interesting. Oh no. Yeah, it's up to you. Like I said, I mean, if you want to copy trade, I never recommend it. It's extremely risky. And oh, looks like we saw a break. Something just broke on Matic. I think we're starting to see that break on the lower time frame. Let's go on the 15. Oh yeah, 15-minute. We closed below that resistance level here. So we should be looking for a possible move going all the way down to 99 and then exiting. That would be my exit point because I don't want to see another wick going higher. If that happens, that's going to be extremely dangerous. So right now we are seeing the lower time frames. So you ideally want to see that move set out. You don't want to see that move set in on Matic. Like we're seeing right now. We don't want to see this. Is that my liquidation? What is that? 1.0359. 1.03. Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. 1.0359. That's my liquidation. There we go. That's better. All right, we are down 10%. Like I said, this is extremely volatile, extremely risky position, but I'm just doing this so you guys don't get bored. Just gonna have some fun right now. It's a little fun position size. Ideally, though, like I said, we're trying to get out around that take profit level, around that 99 cent. It should be about a $50 to $60 trade, a 10% trade. But Matic is looking extremely volatile right now in the lower time frames. Yes, Ethan, I actually made a poll today, mentioning more educational content, but I can show you really quickly right now if you would like while we're in this trade. Why not? So looking at the 4 hour, so this is what a 3-test confirmation would look like. Let me go ahead and pop out Bitcoin for you. So there's a few ways to look at it, right? So I'll explain it like this. Number one, when you have, so think of it like this. When you have a group of 3 tests, you count that as group 1. So you can see we have group 1 here, group 2, and then group 3. Usually on group 3, if we test that level again, we have a breakout formation to the downside. So now I'll explain the 3-test confirmation. So this is a perfect example for you. You see the middle of this. So what I call a 3-test is 3 wicks. So what this long little stick right now is a wick. So ideally what I look for is that wick to hit that support level once, twice, 3 times, and then you enter the position. And that would be a good point to hold. And you can see that's exactly how it played out, right? We had that 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, break above. That's kind of the gist of it. Obviously, it goes a little bit more in detail. I'd actually need to take out a whole video for that. But that's pretty much the gist of it. And then you can kind of start to see that pattern across a lot of pairs. You see that both on the resistance side and you see that on the support side, right? So a 3-test confirmation from the resistance side would be you see that resistance level test 3 times and then the move to the downside. So I don't enter positions until I see that confirmation. The reason why we took a long position on Bitcoin was because of the fact that, we saw that 3-test confirmation on the 4 hours. You can see we pretty much had 4, 5, or 6 tests and we were still holding above this level. The only thing is, because we were trading with these exponential moving averages below, this usually leads to a breakdown formation. And I'll explain why. Is because you have, number one, you're testing that support level multiple times. So every time you test that support level, it gets weaker. Number two, you're acting as resistance when you're hitting these exponential moving averages. And number three, when you basically test that level multiple times, see that failed pattern, we have a liquidity grab like we saw over on sorry, so it's a little difficult to kind of trade between two things. But when we saw over on Luna Classic, you saw that liquidity grab? I'll show you guys. When we saw that liquidity grab on Luna Classic, right there, you see, we bounced on that support. 1, 2, 3. Liquidity grab, move to the downside. So that's pretty much how I trade it. Obviously, a little bit more in detail, but that's what you're looking for. So when you're trading something, you want to look for a 3-test confirmation on the wicks. It's very important on the wicks, not on the candles, the wicks. Again, same thing. 1, 2, 3-test confirmation, move upwards. You see how that played out? Same thing. And it has to be on a support level, right? It has to be trading on a support level. It has to be trading either on a support or a resistance for that 3-test. Of course, from the resistance side of things, you can kind of see the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Obviously, this case is a little bit different because we had multiple tests here, but that would give you enough confirmation, and you want to be entering on the test. You don't want to be entering in the middle of the test. You want to be entering on the test and then the move to the downside. That's pretty much how I trade. And you can kind of take that as you will. Matic is the most interesting trade for us right now. It is still breaking outwards. I don't know why I listen to you guys. I'm just kidding. I think it's just one more pullback, and then we see the moves to the downside. I ideally don't want to see a nice wick above. That would be horrible. That would be horrible. But it's okay. We're here to have fun. We're here to learn. So, that's what we're doing. We're down 8%. No, it's pretty volatile. We're bouncing really fast, so it's kind of... I mean, of course, if this short opportunity does play out, it will be extremely profitable. But this is just going to be very interesting regardless for us. I think this thing is supposed to say people and blogs. There we go. We got education now. Any other questions, guys, for me while we watch this account, go down? No, I'm gonna make like super beginner stuff for like educational content, like literally from the basics for you guys. So this way, like everyone can learn how I trade. I mean, I obviously recommend watching the videos because I do break it down pretty well regardless. Like I basically every video I make it so that a beginner is gonna watch it. So I repeat the same stuff. So, because like for example, like even now, like if you guys look at my Doge video, it has 419 views, right? So that's 400 new people that are watching. They're not going to understand like how I trade. My old subscribers, like the guys, you guys will obviously see the same points, but that's why I make the videos over and over and over with analysis every day so that you guys can kind of understand. But I 100% probably this weekend, I'll get out my first support and resistance video for you guys, and then we can go from there. So you guys can kind of learn. But yeah, things are kind of slowly treading along for us for Matic. Nothing really crazy. I mean, I was hoping for a little bit better price action, but we're just not seeing that right now. The markets are very slow today. Yeah, usually the markets are pretty slow. And we've been live for an hour. That's crazy. Time is flying for us. But you know what? We're not going to leave until this position closes. We either make bank or we get liquidated. There's no in between for us, okay, guys? We're going to watch this together. We're going to do this together. No problem, Ethan. If you have any other questions, you tell me. But yeah, we're all in this together, okay? We're going to hold hands and you're going to watch this position go to the downside. If it goes up, that's going to be a problem. But right now, we're on the 15-minute, looking pretty good. Saw another rejection point. The hourly should be closing in exactly 7 minutes. We should be near profit again. Yeah, we're hovering right in between profit. So let's go on the 5-minute. Still above that support level. Not good. That's too early to say. I like the 30 minutes the best. It's the cleanest thing, the nicest thing. I just want to see a massive red candle. I'm going to be honest with you guys, because this is way too... Like, just look at this move, guys, from today. This should be the turning point right here. This should have liquidated pretty much everyone, and now we should see that nice move set to the downside. The thing is, of course, I can hold this position overnight and go to bed. I did do that on Matic before. Made quite a bit. And I don't think I will, because of the fact that Matic looks like it's running off, macro events right now, which I don't like. So one more news article and this thing can rocket. 1.035. Oh, we have quite a... Oh, yeah, okay. We're good. Cup and handle formations. They are very manipulated. You can look at Bitcoin, for example. I guess that's not Bitcoin. 1 second. There you go. So that can be a cup and handle formation. A little bit. Kind of. Like I said, these are a little bit manipulated. So basically like that, you got the cup, you got the little handle, and then that continuation. Can definitely play out for sure. But again, I don't like trading cup and handle. I don't think I've ever traded cup and handle formations because of how manipulated they can be. I've seen a lot of people, start posting their charts. They're like, okay, we're on the handle. And then they get absolutely liquidated the next candlestick. So I don't know. It's never worked out for me. So I just never do it. But it's up to you guys, ideally, of course. FTM chart. We can have a look at FTM too. So, you know what I will do, my friends? We will do this, and we will do this. And then we will do this. Did I mess up? I did. Hold on. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now we can watch our liquidation live, and we can watch our little charting. You guys can see, right? Oh, shoot. Wait. I don't have access to you guys. Hold on a second, guys. There we go. Okay. Can you guys see this still? Is everyone good? I'm assuming so. It looks like it's good. Okay, so let's go to FTM. FTM. On the 4 hour. Wow, that's quite a bit of movesets today, huh? Everything is just having massive wicks. These are just all scam wicks today. Damn, FTM dropped that much? That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I remember seeing this thing at $3. That is crazy. Anyways, that was my moment. Okay, so... Okay, you know what? I can't do this. I'm just gonna do this. Oops, my bad. Sorry, guys. It's okay. If we get liquidated, we get liquidated. We're gonna teach. Okay, so... Looking at it right now, we can have a support line right there. We have a resistance point right here. So yeah, looking at this from this perspective, it looks pretty bullish, to be honest, on the 4 hours. We still have quite a bit of ways to go. We did reject right here because of the resistance. So this is a good lesson for you guys right now. So you guys see how I draw my support line so fast is because I look for two things. Number one, I look for resistance. So if I see a bunch of candlesticks rejecting, and then I look for support. If I see that those two line up together, that immediately is a resistance point for me. And then you kind of just play, obviously, from the support side of things, right? So if we see a resistance point from the bottom, and we see a support level from the top, it acts as a support line. So you guys kind of see that right now. I usually draw from the lows, though. So if I see a wick to the downside, I mean, some people would be like, okay, well, why did you draw the line here and not, you know, at the lows over here? Well, because, again, you can draw whatever line you want at the end of the day, but I don't really care about this price action right now because of the fact that it's done, right? We're way above that. So I want to see the immediate support that we can possibly go to, which should be at this level. The last pullback opportunity before that continuation. This is the 4 hour time frame. And that's pretty much what we're trading. Looks like Matic is dropping, but I'm not going to switch over because, you know, we're learning. So looking at it from this perspective, I would expect a possible move for Matic to around 31 cents. But of course, this would change if we do break below these exponential moving averages and start retesting that support line. And the reason I say that is because you can see right over here on previous price analysis, we had the same sort of situation. We had a beautiful wick breaking above that resistance. So we saw that opportunity, saw the pullback, and then the continuation. And we are seeing the same sort of position right now. We saw the move, pullback, and then the continuation. So that's why I'm a little bit more bullish on FTM right now. But of course, if the market crashes, everything's going anyways. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, this is just kind of hovering. We're not really seeing much here. On the 30-minute. Same thing. But yeah, I hope that helps. I hope that helps you. Yes, sir. We are still in. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I mean, You know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised I'm even shorting this for you guys because you guys were bored. But I don't like shorting into candlesticks like this. It's pretty much like. It's pretty much suicide. Very, very risky positions. But like I said, it's a little bit more volatile. It's a little bit more fun for us. So we're gonna continue just running it through. So I'm just gonna do this. Whoops. That didn't work. Sorry, guys. There we go. We're down, same thing, 50 bucks. It's just hovering around that. So I think we already had a relief rally. And you know what? Why not? Ethan, let's go have a look. I'm just gonna... You know what's okay. If I get the email from Fairdesk, then we know what happened, guys. So I'll just say that. Okay, so let's go look at SMP. I did have SPY drawn out already. So as you guys can see, I do analyze SPY for fun. I was doing it for friends. So I just do it for fun. Like I said, it's not really a thing for me. So looking at it, I think, like I said, I believe this was our relief rally. You know, when Bitcoin was hitting 25,000. So we saw this move to the downside, a nice relief rally, and then that continuation. And then this is what it's looking like for me for SPY. And I like how everyone gets extremely bullish, but they don't really understand the fact that, you know, if I zoom out on S&P, like the more I zoom out, the crazier this chart's going to look. Guys, we are so overbought. Like, there's still so much room to go. There's absolutely no reason why the stock market's so bullish right now. So yeah, I do believe like we are. The good thing is we are obviously creating lower lows, right? So we have low, a low, a low. So this is obviously a good sign of a crash. Now I'm not gonna have a crystal ball and be like, okay, tomorrow we're gonna crash, but the crash, you know, regardless if you're just shorting and every pullback you're looking for that shorting opportunity, that's a pretty decent spot for you to actually try to catch that short, right? You can see this was obviously during the COVID crash. We saw the market pretty much have that bounce, same sort of situation right now, and then capitulation, right? Yeah, if DXY rises, Bitcoin drops. It's pretty much the case. DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. I do have DXY in here somewhere too. There it is. Like I said, I analyze stuff for fun, and this was my having fun moment. So yeah, DXY does look like it's ready to pump. The reason is obviously we have pretty much that this would be that third test confirmation. So that should be a breakout trade for DXY, and that should make Bitcoin obviously drop a little lower. And then that continuation, obviously. So let's go look at Matic. We are definitely getting wrecked right now, guys, on Matic. I know for a fact we're getting wrecked. Oh, it's only okay. It's only 10%. I don't know why. Like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. But like, I swear that liquidation is a lot closer. You know, like it's extremely close. I know that. It's just like, oh, there we go. Yeah, see now it's going. Do you draw support lines only on the 4 hour? Yeah, pretty much only on 4 hours. I only spend time on the 4 hours. I don't really like. I'll draw on the 4 hours, but if I'm like super strict about the wicks, then I'll go on the 1 hour chart and kind of move it lower. So like, um, that's just to get the perfect wick, right? Because you want the exact dollar price, and I'll do that. But otherwise, I just kind of have a rough estimate. But yeah, Matic is looking pretty interesting. I'll say that. We're just gonna let it run. We are just gonna let it run for the stream tonight. This is for you guys. Our first stream. It wouldn't be fun unless it was a liquidation, right? So might as well let it run. Let's go look at what happened though on the 30-minute. Ah, see? We had a bounce on that support, and now it looks like we are continuing pushing higher. I don't know. This can go obviously one of two ways. Number one is this is a fake out. We see another drop. Number two is we see one last push above, grab that liquidity, and then the drop. So either way, it's going to be interesting for us. I mean, I can close the position and call it here for you guys, but I'm sure you guys want to watch at least this position play out. So I'll let it run, see what happens. I'll cut it soon though. Like I said, I'm not trying to. I really don't want to, lose the account. But right now we're just kind of just playing. I mean, let's see. Assuming if we kept our first position open, which was our Bitcoin position, which I liked. Yeah, so you would have played out anyways. We would have been break even right now, and it does look like it's ready for that move to the upside for Bitcoin. Definitely looks bullish on the lower time frames for sure. But you know what? We did it for the entertainment tonight for you guys. So we're gonna have some. We're gonna watch. This is just rising faster and faster. We are about 20%. This is very nice. okay though. See, this is where usually I'd just be like, all right, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go get some snacks, then I come back and then you get liquidated. But I'm like, might as well watch it. It's too volatile, man. That's the problem. Like it's like this is very volatile, and ideally scalps like this, you know, you by now I would have closed it. If you are in a scalping position, but because we're so extreme on the chart, it's extremely hard to read, right? You can see that we are extremely overbought. We already hit that near resistance level, and this is becoming very volatile. So this is like where the emotions I can't find any service where I can short if I live in New York State. Ethan, are you talking about stocks or are you talking about crypto? Because you can short crypto on Fairdesk. It's regulated for the US. It's in the link. But if you're talking about stocks, I have no idea. But yeah, as I was saying, like in terms of emotion, yeah, you can, Ethan, if you want to use Fairdesk, they are regulated for US. So you should be able to. This is where emotions come into play for a lot of traders, right? They'll start seeing their losses and they'll be like, oh my God, I have to close the position. And then they'll close the position and then it'll go their way, right? So this is why it's so important to kind of just like keep your emotions intact. We have our resistance. Obviously, this would be worst case scenario liquidation. But if we see, obviously, we start pushing up above this previous high again, we just close the position, right? But it is looking like a fake out. The bulls are definitely exhausted. We are now seeing more bearish candlesticks forming. I was kind of expecting maybe a move up here. I'll be honest with you guys. I was looking for a move up here, at least for that retest. But it looks like the bears are coming in control over here. And we're right back to the same level again. Same boring level. I have no idea why this Doge video went viral. Like, I have absolutely no idea. Things are getting interesting for us. Yeah, I know it's Doge, but like my other Doge videos, like they've never pulled these kind of numbers before, right? So I understand it's Doge, but yeah. Oh, we're back to a negative 100. Honestly, at this point, we could have just traded Doge. I feel like Doge would have been fun too. It's okay. We like trading into the, we like trading opposite of what we do. So ideally, the thing is, when you're shorting markets like this, when you're shorting something like this, it becomes risky, right? Because of the fact that it's had a massive run up, but now like the thing is you're trading against like retail traders, right? But there is quite a bit of resistance here. Ideally, our liquidation would be the top of the possible move. But I'm trying to play these wicks right over here. You can see that we did have a wick to 99, and that's exactly what I'm trying to play. Take that 99 and then leave. If I want to long or buy a currency, do I have to own it? No, not necessarily. Right? That's exactly what leverage trading is. You're basically borrowing. So, hold on. We are seeing a move set here. But yeah, as like I said, if you don't have to own a currency, you can just deposit USDT and then you can start leverage trading. Like right now, you can see I only have USD, right? I don't have any, I don't own Bitcoin, I don't own anything on this account. It's just leverage trading. So yeah, exactly, CD. That's exactly it. Yeah, it like I said, I mean, we took a position for entertainment, right? So I'm not I'll be honest, I'm not expecting anything from this position. It's gonna get more and more volatile, but again, like that's the ideal, and I'm pretty sure it's because Bitcoin's breaking out. Yeah, see, Bitcoin's breaking out. So our first position would have played out perfectly, and of course, Matic will continue breaking out as well because of that. Um, so yeah, we're kind of in an interesting spot. But Matic is so overbought, which is why we're entering the short position. So worst case scenario, we see a double top right at this wick. But you guys can see this is the 1 hour. Look how volatile it is, right? Like it's just we look away for a second and it's like it moves quick. See, like that's what I'm saying. Like when you trade uptrends like this, when you're trading stuff like this, like you pretty much have to not be emotional. You just because you know what you're getting into right off the bat. And number two is the fact that you know when you are caught up in a position, you pretty much have two options. You can close for the loss, or you can trust your analysis and expect to move to the downside. I mean, personally speaking, I don't see this coming down right now because again, I don't like trading the 15-minute, 30 minutes. I like trading the 1 hour and 4 hours. And but again, we are playing the wicks, right? So if we do see a nice wick to the downside, we can get out. No, I've never used Bollinger Bands. I have looked into them. I just never traded with them. Never liked it. If that makes sense. I am trying to look at this. Yeah, so we basically like again for entertainment purposes, but ideally what should have happened in terms if I was looking at this trade, I would have waited for the 4 hour close and then entered the position because that would again I trade only on 4 hours, right? But we wanted to feel something tonight, so we entered. But yeah, that's what you're kind of looking for. But this is a crazy 4 hour candle. Like I don't even know what to say about this. Like this is just straight up. Worst case scenario, so what we'll do here is we do have a new high being formed at 297. So we'll close this position soon. And then possibly look for a scalping opportunity. This is for you guys. This is your entertainment. Scalping is basically what we're doing right now. Well, this is I mean, this is a little bit of a weirder scalp, but scalping is you're basically in and out of the market. So you buy, you enter, you exit. That's exactly what scalping is. So it's super quick. So there's that wick. So like I mentioned, I did have a feeling like we would possibly retest the high once more and then see the move to the downside. But what we don't want to see is kind of what we're seeing right now. We don't want to see anything breaking above this would get a little bit more interesting. So we'd have to exit the position probably. But yeah, this is getting very volatile. So scalping's in and out. 5 minutes, 5 minutes out. 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out. We're shorting right now. We're shorting Matic, yeah, because this is extremely volatile. So we're hoping for that wick to the downside, but I don't think we're gonna see that just yet. That's why I usually wait for the 4 hour close. That's why I was long on Bitcoin. Like if you guys look at my Bitcoin trade, it definitely played out perfectly. Let's go look. My first original, yeah. See, Bitcoin's breaking out. We were in that long position. That's what we technically should have held, but it was way too boring. We were like sitting there for an hour waiting for it. So that's why we're in a short now on Matic. But I might close this position soon. I just, like I said, I'm waiting for the wick. If I see that wick, then I'll get out. But I'm just not seeing it right now. So it looks like it's just manipulation again. I'll show you guys what I mean. Like here, I'll show you real quick. So what we're looking for, like we're playing against the wick, right? So when you're playing with wicks like this, Like we got that double top. So I mentioned that if we broke above this level, I'd get out of the position, right? So right there. So we're just, that's the little red line I'm talking about. Because then it can look like a double top wick formation and then the move to the downside. But it's also the 30-minute, that's the other problem. So on the hourly, like this is what the hourly looks like. So what I'm worried about is maybe one more push above and then the move. Like that's what I was waiting for ideally. So we kind of jumped into the position a little too soon. But usually what you wait for is on the hourly, you wait for that 3 test confirmation. Ethan, if you're watching, that's what I meant. So like this would be the second test, and then the third test would be that liquidity grab, and then the move to the downside. But like this is so volatile. I really want to go get water, but I feel like I'm going to go and then I'm going to miss all the fun. So I don't know. I found water. So yeah, 1 hour, Ethan. We're looking for the 1 hour time frame for the third wick. So right now you can see on the hourly we have 2 wicks. The third wick would be the next hourly, which is 45 minutes from now. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to close this position and then maybe wait for a re-entry though, because I'm not trying to risk the wick up here because that would be liquidation, which is looking like it's breaking out still. So ideally, maybe, yeah, 2-4. If we see 250 here, I'm just going to close it, and then we can look for a possible shorting opportunity back down. And then kind of seeing how we go from there. Yeah, like I said, this was just for entertainment purposes. That's about it. Shorting into a move like this is usually suicide. You usually want to play with the trend. You don't want to trade against the trend. And like I said, Matic's on a massive run up, so there's really no reason to short just yet. But you can definitely get lucky, I guess, if you do catch the top and then ride the wave to the downside. It's extremely profitable. But yeah, I think I started today at 420, so we're pretty much back to where I started. That's why I'm not really like worried. It just takes pretty much one trade to kind of just get it all back, so it's not really the end of the world. Let it run for a bit. 1.036. Alright, we are going to get out of that. That is way too fast for me. Okay, so yeah. So there's that. So there you guys see. So that's what I'm saying. So now we're going to wait on the hourly time frame. And we're just going to see how this plays out. So see, right now we would have been wrecked. We would have gone wrecked right there. See that? That's exactly why we got out. There's a wreck right there. So now we are in this extreme position. We're just going to see how it is on the 4 hours. We're still pushing. Wow, look at that. So we're just going to wait. Because now, different case scenario. Now this white line that I drew for you guys, this is the resistance level that we were talking about. And ideally, what we want to see now is a test of around the 1045. We have 2 weeks. This would be a good short too. You know what? Try something. We are gonna try something. 10342. It's so hard trading and live streaming at the same time. It's literally impossible. 1036. There's that breakout. There's that breakout, guys. You see that? Look at that. There's our breakout, and now we wait for the wick. One more push. This is what I was saying, right? We would have gone liquidator right there. So that's why I exited. As soon as you guys saw that breakout, I exited. Just gonna wait. Just gonna wait. Look at it go. This is the 4 hours, by the way. If you go look at the 1 hour, it's gonna be a joke. So we're just gonna wait. Just let it run. Just let it run. Possibly be looking for here. Okay. This is gonna be very interesting. We are gonna enter a scalp for a short. Just kind of see. Okay, that's a little bit of a better position. I think I'm just gonna let this one run, guys, because this is 1.069 is our liquidation, which is all the way up here. That's like, I'll move the white line now. 1.069. There you guys go. So that's our now new liquidation spot. I don't think we'll get that level because of the fact that you can see worst case scenario, we'll see a test of 1.0453 and then the move to the downside. So we're just going to let it run now. So this would be our short. Doesn't matter which red. No, it doesn't matter, Ethan. It can be both colors. We're just, like I said, we don't really care about the candlesticks. We just care about the wicks. That's it. So in total, I think we are down 285. So yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. See what I mean? You guys seeing this? it's see this. So CD, this is a good example of like a scalp. We pretty much entered like 5 minutes ago. Not even 5 minutes ago, like what, 30 seconds ago? And we're up 10%, you would close that trade immediately. The minute you hit 10%, you close that trade. The reason I'm not closing it, because I want to ride this short down. Right? So I want to, now this is technically what I would have waited for. And now I've been riding the wave downwards. Because now we just let the wave, see? So we entered the position too soon, which wasn't, again, you know, no problem. Shit happens. As you guys can see, we hit that resistance level here at 1.107. Usually you don't trade off one wick. So that's why when I draw my resistance levels, I look for multiple tests. This is the multiple test right over here. You can see that we have multiple tests of this opportunity and then the move to the downside. The reason I entered a short right here was because you can see we have 3 wicks hitting that resistance. 1, 2, 3. We had a small breakout, but it wasn't like what we saw right now, right? We didn't see the same sort of formation right now. We didn't get the same move set. Look at that move versus the move we have right now. It's a completely different scenario. That's why I know this is over leveraged, like for a position. So we're just gonna let our short play out now. I'm not gonna leave. I'm literally just gonna leave this and just let it go. I technically could have raised the leverage at 20x, but that would have, like, because we're trading with such a tight range, if I raise the leverage, my liquidation might have been right here. I don't like trading like that. That's way too risky for me. So if we're gonna trade, we're gonna trade like this. Because realistically, if this is the final move set and we're done with this massive candlestick, then the drop is gonna be absolutely disgusting on Matic. And I literally think I'm just gonna leave it, letting it play now. Because worst case scenario, if it, you know, if it continues, then we get liquidated, whatever. At the end of the day, like, it was a fun stream for us anyways. Best case scenario, if we let this trade run, it's a massive profit. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yes, liquidation depends on leverage. So if I wanted to increase my leverage, my liquidation would be a lot faster versus if, you know, you use lower leverage, your liquidation takes a lot longer. So the price it'll hit. You guys can see my liquidation right here is 1.069. So that's a, you know, I have a long way to go. And you can see how volatile it is, right? We're bouncing really fast. So but you see how quickly I got out of that position, like when we were in the negatives, like for 240, 250. The reason why is because, like, for a beginner trader, if that happened, 9 out of 10 times, they would have held the position. And the reason for that is because they would say, okay, there's no way it can break above the previous wick. And then it breaks above the previous wick, and then they will say, okay, well, this is just a fake out. And then it doesn't end up being a fake out, and then they get liquidated because they can't react that fast. Yeah, your liquidation, yeah, see, you're way up there. So you're fine. 1.08, you're okay. You're all the way up here too. I mean, again, you got to keep in mind that it can definitely hit that level because of the fact that, you know, this could be a manipulation wick. But I am willing to bet that this is the top for this. And the reason is because of the fact that we are getting very volatile here. So usually when you start seeing the price go up and down like that, like extremely fast, it usually means we're ending up in a top-up zone. And then that's where you start seeing the liquidity grabs. So I'll run the stream for like 20 more minutes, and then I will call it. Because it's like a 2-hour stream. But yeah. We're just going to let it run. Because look at our entry. We are exactly on top of that wick. Right there, CD. Do you see that liquidation price on the chart? I'm kind of hovering over it. If you, I don't know. I hope you guys can see my mouse. But you see where it says the position we're in. It'll say mark price and then liquidation price right underneath it. That's our liquidation. So 1.069. And then what I usually do is I'll go on the chart and I'll put a white line to say that that's the liquidation area. Yeah. So right now we are, what's our entry here? Our entry is 1.038. Not bad. Not a bad entry at all. Very, very good entry. I'm just going to mute myself for like 2 minutes, guys. It's got something to do. I'm going to leave the screen open for you guys. So I'm still on the computer. So if you guys have questions, just type them out. I just got to make one quick short video. That's all. 1.038 is my entry. 1.038, yeah. Well, because we closed the first one, remember? Because our liquidation was 1. I'm using 20x cross. Yeah, that's my entry. Because on our other position, we would have been liquidated if I didn't close it, remember? So that's why we had to close it immediately. Because we would have been liquidated by now. But like I said, we were watching the lower time frames. We saw that breakout formation, and then we kind of just figured we have to get out of that. Yeah. I usually use cross. Isolated is obviously better, but mostly for a beginner. But yeah, give me like 30 seconds here. I'm just gonna make a quick short, and then I will be back because I know people are gonna be like, "Well, where's the short for nighttime?" I mean, I think everyone's on a schedule now in terms of videos, so everyone kind of knows when the videos are going to come out, which is good, but it's a little exhausting for me. But that's okay. All right, give me a sec. All right, I'm back. So yeah, not looking bad. The volatility stopped, that's for sure. CD, so cross is pretty much the way you can see is your whole position. So like pretty much like in your account, let's say for example, I have 650 USD. If I'm using 100% of it, I'm using all 650 USD. Isolated is like you're using a specific amount of margin. So it can be like one position. So let's say you want to use only $50, then you'll only risk $50. Does that make sense? That's why isolated is obviously a lot better for a beginner compared to what I'm doing. We like risks. That's how we trade. And I don't mind the losses if they happen. But I don't honestly this is looking like such a good short right now. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. I really don't know what the best time is for these live videos because I honestly don't think anyone's like YouTube tells me like analytically none of my subscribers are awake. So yeah. I think I might have to change the timings a little bit. But then that's the thing, like nothing really happens during US hours. Like everything happens now during Asia hours. So yeah, it's perfect for me too because like I pretty much finish all my videos for the day, and then I can just host till like 11 p.m. and then go to bed. So it works out perfectly. All right, that video is done. Yeah, I think this was a fun live. I don't know about you guys. I had fun though. No, I don't think it's gonna pump. I think it's coming down. I mean, yeah, I think we're good here. We have a pretty decent position open right now. Just gonna let it run because I actually want to play this position now. I actually want to see a massive move. No, no, I don't. No, I'm just kidding. I do. I'm just very focused on YouTube right now. Very, very focused. Because again, like, I mean, the channel's growing really well, so that's why. And plus, like, I enjoy trading, right? So it kind of works out perfectly. Oh man, this volatility is crazy. Come on, let's just get a nice move. Worst trade. I showed that before, but there was a few worst trades I've had. Yeah, that was back in December of 2018. That was my worst trade, and it kind of looked like this. A little bit more different, obviously. We just saw a massive move. Like it was instant. Like basically, I was in profit, and then I looked away for 5 seconds, and I came back, and it was gone. Like it was like a flash crash. Yeah. So again, back then it was only like 10 grand. I think 10 or 12 grand. So it wasn't really a big deal, but looking at it now, you're like, wow. But like, I kid you guys not, man. Like, when you talk about whales in that chat, like in Bybit's chat, it was crazy because these guys were like open P&L 70, 80, 90 bitcoins. Like, think about that. Like, they were leverage trading with that much back then. How much they have now? It's wild. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy amount of money. Very crazy amount of money. There it goes. Got another breakout formation. This thing does not want to sleep. It's okay though. I at this point I would rather get that liquidation because this can drop at any point, which I would much rather see right now because this is definitely topping out. We are pretty much at the exact point of the hourly resistance now. Almost there, actually. Not there quite. Not quite there yet. But we are getting to that point where we are topping out. It would have been a nice long position to play actually for Matic. You kind of look at it. Down here 95. Definitely interesting, definitely interesting. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here, guys. I mean, this has been a crazy long stream for an hour and 40 minutes. I don't, I want people to actually watch this too. Um, but yeah, I'll go ahead and end the stream. I don't know if I don't know. Do you guys want to do a weekly thing? Yeah, what's up? What's your question? What is your question? My favorite crypto traders? Is that what you're asking? I mean, I don't have any Twitter guys. I actually, I will say there's one guy I've watched for a lot, yeah, for a few years now. His name is The Trading Channel. He was actually one of those people that, yeah, The Trading Channel on YouTube. His name's Steve. He's actually a really genuine guy. Um, he has, I think, well over 1 million subscribers now, and he teaches very well. Um, he really breaks it down for a beginner. I remember watching him 6 years ago, and he taught me a lot. And I didn't realize until I got into like the ending. Um, I am gonna do something though. I'm gonna end the stream though, guys. I will call it here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about size chat. There's a bunch of them. But yeah, we're gonna end the stream here. I'm just gonna close this. I don't really wanna sleep on this bull run aspect. But yeah, I will end the stream. Thanks for coming. I know we had some fun. This obviously was more of a teaching session than it was a trading session. And okay, weekly it is. We will do these weekly then. I will definitely do this weekly for you guys. I just have to find out. Maybe we'll do them on weekends, so it's a little bit less volatile. Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great night.